Have you ever wondered why thousands of patients wait for organs even when billions of people die every year? Why did organ donation remain almost zero even after the law was passed in 1994? Why do people still believe that if they donate their eyes, they'll be born blind in the next life? Can one decision taken save up to 8 lives after death? And what happened in 2002 inside a hospital room that sparked a revolution in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and many states in India? In a powerful session conducted by Dr. S. Indira Garu to create awareness among the students of Savitribai Phule Educational and Charitable Trust, she spoke about the difference between body donation and organ donation, the myths and superstitions stopping families, the heartbreaking story of a 7-year-old child, the journey from 0% awareness to today's progress, Jeevan Dan, and how it functions. Do you know that Telangana stands first in organ donation? And also why donors must be honored like soldiers. More than statistics, she spoke about humanity. Stay tuned because what you're about to hear may change what you think about life and even death.
Indira Madam, అందరికి పరిచయమే. ఆయన ఒక్క నిమిషం ఆవిడ పరిచయం చేస్తాను. 1 minute. డాక్టర్ ఎస్ ఇందిరా గారు హాస్పిటల్ లో ఆవిడ ట్రస్టీగా ఉన్నారు. ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అంటే టీచింగ్ అంటే ఆవిడకి మహాప్రాణం, పిల్లలంటే ఇంకా ప్రాణం మీరంటే. అందుకని ఆవిడ లైఫ్ మొత్తం ఆ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మీద, టీచింగ్ మీద ఎంత కమిటెడ్ గా పనిచేస్తారో నేను ఇక్కడ మీకు మాటల్లో చెప్పలేను. స్టిల్ ఆవిడ రిటైర్డ్ అయిపోయి ఇన్ని సంవత్సరాలు అయిపోతున్నా ఇంకా ఆవిడ టీచింగ్ వదిలిపెట్టలేదు. ఆ నేత్ర విద్యాలయానికి వెళ్ళి అక్కడున్న బిడ్డలకి ఇంగ్లీష్ నేర్పిస్తారు, క్లాసెస్ తీసుకుంటారు, అట్లా జొనైనల్ హోమ్కి వెళ్తారు. అట్లాగే స్మిత లాంటి పిల్లల్ని, స్మితని అడాప్ట్ చేసుకుని ఎట్లాగైతే ఒక డాక్టర్ తయారు చేస్తున్నారు అట్లాగే ఇంకా ఎంతో మంది పిల్లలు. కాబట్టి తన పెన్షన్ ని మొత్తం ఆర్థికంగా వెనకబడ్డ ఈ బిడ్డల కోసమే ఖర్చు పెడుతూ ఆ భవిష్యత్తు కోసం ఆవిడ అహర్నిశలు కృషి చేస్తున్నారు. ఆవిడ మన స్పెక్ట్ లో ఒక మెంబర్ గా ఉండడం, మీతో ఇలా ఆవిడ ఇంటరాక్ట్ అయ్యే అవకాశం మాకు ఇవ్వటం ఆవిడ చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉందని నేనైతే గర్వపడుతున్నా. సో మేడం గారి వేళ మనం మన గురించి అంటే ముందు మీరందరూ మన సంస్థ గురించి తెలుసుకోవాలి, సంస్థ ఏం పని చేస్తుందో తెలుసుకోవాలి. సో మేడం మాట్లాడతారు, వినండి. ఆర్గాన్ అండ్ బాడీ డొనేషన్ మీద మేడం మాట్లాడతారు.
Very good morning to all my dear students. And as ma'am has already said, I'm here today to brief you about the body and organ donation, a great humanitarian movement started by our own Sita ma'am. You only hear about such people, you know, Mahatmas, we call them, great souls who live only for others. And it is our great fortune that we have met some such person. And you are all the beneficiaries of SPECT. Ma'am, Indira ma'am from Hyderabad is going to speak to you about that. So while being a beneficiary of SPECT Salvation and Charitable Trust, I honestly feel you need to know more about the trust. What is this trust? What it has been doing for the community, for the society, for all the people involved. It is just not only for, you know, like the bright, but poor and needy children from any class of society. There is no basis of caste or creed or religion or region, nothing. Just the fact that you are a bright student and you want to realize or fulfill your dream of becoming a doctor or an engineer, a nurse or lawyer, whatever might be the profession you choose. Here is she with her team, able and very willing team, extending their loving hands and a great compassionate loving heart. But today I'm going to talk to you about another very, very important part of this organization, All India Body and Organ Donors Association, maybe. which is affiliated to SPECT. And you know it, I mean, you have heard of it. But then, how did the journey start? What exactly Sita Mahalakshmi Madam and her great team have been doing for the past 20 odd years? You know, today it has come to a stage where at least a lot of people knew about it. But just imagine 20 or 25 years ago, nobody knew anything about it. Then how did she start this journey? An unheard of concept. You know, you can donate clothes or you can give money, you can fund education. All this we know generally, or even blood. But then giving a body, giving organs, unheard of. I'm sure you also have not heard of, you know, like before you come to this organization. Let me tell you a story, because as children, I'm sure, you know, we still treat you as children, though you are all becoming, you know, great professionals. We are all one family, remember. So in the place of a mom, I always feel, you know, if I tell you a story, this is a true story, and certainly it will fascinate you. It is a fascinating story. Here is a teacher, a government school teacher, who has been working for the society, for the children, you know, all through her life. And then 2003, she got, you know, affected with a kidney issue. After the initial treatment, she was asked to go to where there a hospital which specializes in kidney issues in Coimbatore. So after going there, getting the treatment, right in front of her, perhaps I think, you know, there's another room where there is a 7-year-old kid who is also suffering from a kidney problem. And after a few days, one day, suddenly she did not find the boy there. On inquiry, she found that the boy is gone, passed away. She was shocked. Why? The reason is that boy's kidney was dysfunctional, and they waited very patiently with hope for a transplant, but no kidney was available, and so the boy died. It was shocking. It was very, very painful. And after, you know, getting treated, she became all right. She came back home. I always feel, you know, like if it is you or me or anyone else, I'm sure of it. If it happens like this in our lives, what is it we could have done? We feel sad. Certainly, we all feel sad. We are human beings after all. Maybe for a day or two or a week, we talk to his parents and his family and feel very sad about it. And then that's it. We move on with our lives. How many times we read, you know, very sad news in newspapers or maybe TV, whatever. But this lady, you know, she just could not keep quiet. That boy's face must have haunted her. Why is this? What is this kidney transplant? You know, she wants to know more about it. So, can you imagine, students? 2 whole years she spent on research. And then, to her dismay, she found out that there is something called organ transplant. Actually, in 1994 itself, National Transplant Act was there in India, but it's only on paper, nothing in practice. 2 whole years she has done research. And then she found out, to her dismay, that in most of the Western countries, for example, like Sweden, the organ donation ratio was 30 to 40%. Whereas in India, with 142 crore population, it is a awful zero, a big zero, nothing at all as far as body or organ donation is concerned. So she was really, you know, it was such a dismal factor. My God, why? And then, you know, she is quite an, you know, like an intellectual. So she began to first think, why? See, for every question, there has to be a why. That is how science progresses. That is how any progress could be made. You should ask the question, why is this? And then how do we better the situation? These are the two questions which are very important. Why for this problem is she began to, you know, like reflect and then research. And then she found out lack of awareness. about the need of organ donation and all the procedures that are associated with it. Nobody knew anything about it. There are people not aware of it. The second reason is there are many fears, many phobias related to religion, and then one social stigmas. In addition, I have heard people talking, telling me, "Oh, if you give your eyes, in the next birth you will be born blind. How can you give away your body or your organs? It is against our religion, this, that." And so these are the two. And then many social stigmas. What will people think if I give my father's body or my mom's body? They think that we have a vested interest. We have sold their bodies for some such thing. All kinds of social phobias, religious fears, stigmatized. So these two are the major reasons: lack of awareness and also all kinds of fears and stigmas and phobias. But then there has to be someone, she thought. Someone needs to break the barriers. So she has begun a relentless struggle, bringing awareness, refuting all the stigmas by conducting innumerable awareness campaigns in schools, colleges, universities, many government and private industry, visiting nearly 15 states, 15 in the country. Can you imagine? She has to get, employ even language, can I say, moderators or somebody, to translate, because she can't speak 15 languages anyway. But see, it's a very deterring fact, but nothing ever deters her. She just goes on and on. According to a new phase, she gave innumerable interviews in newspapers, TV. And what is her slogan? Maranina Jivinchandi in Telugu. And how do you put it in English? You can live even after death. How can anybody live after death? What is this? Let me see. At least that kind of curiosity, that statement will certainly ignite in even ordinary people. And so she has innumerable interviews, as I said, many articles she has written, and I can't tell you how many, obstructions, how many threats she faced in this journey. People have threatened her. She told me once, she received sack loads of hate mail. Hate, H-A-T-E, you know that. You must have heard of it. People, are saying all kinds of horrible things. How can you do that? Unidentified bodies are usually, taken by the hospitals, and maybe that is how, anatomy studies can be, uh, can go on. So otherwise people are not aware. So she received so much of mail like that from newspapers. So I can't tell you, how in the initial, not even days, for weeks, for years, she has faced at most opposition. Yet, as I said, nothing ever deters her. Her determination, her sense of purpose, her commitment is unparalleled, I should say. All these years of my life, I have never seen anybody like her. And so she continued her journey, and her Herculean efforts have paid off. In 2008, on October 9th, 35 people gave signed wills to donate their bodies and organs, total body donation, they used to call it, after death. Bodies and organs after death. That's the agreement. To KGH, Vishakhapatnam. The principal of AMC, I'm sure, was taken aback by surprise and utter disbelief, because he has never seen anything like that in his entire service. 35 people coming to his office and submitting their signed will that they are ready to donate their bodies after death to KGH, to that hospital. So it's a historic event indeed, right? So let me tell you what exactly is body donation, what exactly is organ donation. I'm sure at least you know this already, but just for others, body donation can be done after normal death. Human body is useful for all medical students as they need to study the anatomy of the body to understand it. It is also highly essential for research to find out the causes of many new diseases. Recently, I met an orthopedics doctor, orthopedician, who told me that for their postgraduate studies and even for research, they need, many cadavers. You know what cadavers means? Dead bodies. It's necessary for them, not only in the anatomy lab, even later. And what is organ donation? This can be done by people only after the doctor declares them brain dead. We have many road accidents and other accidents, sudden strokes and so on. So they'll be admitted in, ICU, and then they'll be placed on the ventilator. And after a series of tests, the doctors declare this person is brain dead. All the organs are functioning, but then he cannot survive. Only in such cases, organ donation is advised. And a person can give new life to 18 people. So many organs we have, great, wonderful, which can give life to so many people. But because of the infrastructural facilities or because of the technological issues, we can right now in Indian hospitals, we only can retrieve organs for 8 people. Even that's great. Just now, today only you saw in the students group, 10 months old kid. See, his life has become meaningful. That child lived only for 10 months. But because he passed away in a road accident, his body, his organs were useful. They gave life to 5 more people, it seems. So up to 8, you can, give life. For example, heart, kidneys, liver, lungs, pancreas, intestines, etc. can be donated. And in India, there are long queues for kidney and liver transplant. So if the need is in hundreds and thousands, what is available is numbers, it's only tens or hundreds maximum, that is. Like recently, this reminds me of, I have to tell you this because recently, maybe a year ago or 1.5 years ago, somebody passed away, 30, he's in 30s in Guntur. And his heart has been, within 4 hours, there's a whole lot of, what can I say, information regarding this. I don't have time to tell all that. So his heart has been transplanted in a 16-year-old girl living in Srikakulam. It was 8 flown. Now there is, air thing also, like, from Guntur, it has been to Srikakulam within 4 or 5 to 6 hours time. The transplantation was done and really healthy till now. Not till now, for life. So this is just one example what organ donation can do. So thanks to Sita ma'am and her efforts. What are the achievements of this association? You should know that the first thing, after 2 decades of intense campaigning, a long, arduous journey, crossing the hurdles of not only just people, we have many political issues, we have many medical issues, we have many government issues. She crossed all the hurdles of red tapeism, official hierarchy, meeting officials, including 3 chief ministers of the state. Before, Jeevan Dan Act could come, ma'am has to meet 3 consecutive chief ministers of Andhra Pradesh. That time, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana were together, and now they are different states. She met them. And finally, they were successful in bringing out a historic landmark. It's called Jeevan Dan Act in 2013. It's a government initiative which facilitates the organ donation in quick, effective ways. Today, anyone, anywhere, like if somebody is declared brain dead, immediately within minutes, Jivandan team will contact the people, the family of the person who is brain dead, and then they will educate them about organ donation. And in a number of cases, thankfully, the family is accepting. How did the family get to accept this? Because of these awareness campaigns, what ma'am has done, all these years through newspapers, through TV, so many. Like if you just Google, you will know how many hundreds and thousands of talks she has given. So people are aware now. They want to do something good, because after all, students, remember, we all want to make our life meaningful, right? We all want to lead a happy, successful, meaningful, purposeful life. Yes. At the same time, our death also can be a meaningful. This is the other side of the coin, which you and I, we all have to know and learn and remember. So our death also can be equally meaningful. No, but big effort is needed. Only the consent, our consent, and our consent of our family members. That's it. So the Jivandan team contacts them, and then they will tell them about all this. They sign the relevant papers, and after all the initial tests are done, whatever organs can be retrieved, they'll be retrieved within 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. There's a time for every organ. And then, one person can give life today easily to 8 people. There are a number of cases which vouchsafe for this. So now Jivandan Act is very, well functioning. I'm very happy to say that. And then to even spect, our own organization, to our own All India Body Organ Donation, Institute, nearly, ma'am says, 60,000 people have already submitted their will papers. 60,000 in both the states, in Telangana and Andhra I'm talking of. And every day our association receives 20 to 30 applications. 280 bodies were already donated to Andhra Medical College. So much so, you know what they have done? AMC has started a body bank. People only heard of blood bank earlier. But today AMC has a body bank with 55 crore investment by old students. So now they can give bodies to any upcoming medical college. Even now, Vijayanagaram College, recently we visited it. The anatomy head of the department, ma'am, was asking Kanyakumari ma'am about this. They need bodies for their anatomy classes. So for such needs, AMC is there. Now, 120 corneas are given to L.V. Prasad Eye Hospital in Vizag. All these facts and figures are, a few years ago, I collected 2-3 years ago, and they may be more than this right now. And there is a column in our driving license application. Are you an organ donor? And ma'am has now again prepared a 21. I have today, another demand is you should be there, a column should be there in our ration card applications and Aadhaar card applications and so on. Anyway, there's already a column in our driving license. All this thanks to the efforts of our own association headed by SitaMahalakshmi madam. And there is a lesson now, it is included on organ donation in 10th class, science textbook. And Medical Council of India has issued GOs to include chapters on body and organ donation in medical textbooks, so that all registered doctors, all medical professional care providers, including nurses, paramedical staff, and so on, will be aware of this great need. Great need is there in today's society for organ donation. As I said earlier, there are queues of people waiting for kidneys and livers especially. So to meet this need, to erase this neglect, all the people, all the healthcare professionals must be aware. Only if you are aware, you can spread, right? So that's the idea. Even in your medical textbooks, chapters have to be included. MCI has already passed, MCI has already issued GOs, it seems. I hope they put them into effect. Now, SitaMahalakshmi Garu has left no stone unturned. So now the organ donors ratio has risen from, remember what I said in the beginning, in 2003 and so on, when she found out 0, from 0 now, we have reached to 0.8%. It's a great, great improvement. Yet, there's a long way to go. So our association conducts 80 to 90, 80 to 90 camps every year. Telangana is an advanced state than AP. In fact, recently in the entire country, India, Telangana stood first in organ donation. So, how is it possible? Only because of this great journey, the relentless, continuous, unstoppable efforts of Sita ma'am and her great team. So, taking inspiration, Tamil Nadu is far ahead of all of us. Taking inspiration from Tamil Nadu, recently, both AP and Telangana governments issued GOs to perform funeral rites of the organ donors with all state honors accorded normally to military officials for sacrificing their lives for the country. Sita ma'am always has said, she has said in a number of interviews, just like, we honor the soldiers, the military officials who have sacrificed their lives for the country, we should honor the organ donors also. They have also given life to so many people. So if you honor them properly with all state honors, like, a garland and then a token, certificate, some such thing, 10,000 rupees for the family, some such thing, and the collector or some higher official must be there, give a proper, like, very, what can I say, respectable send off to that person because given life to so many people. So she has always insisted on that. And then again, thanks to all her efforts, now both our governments, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, have issued GOs with regard to that. And it is already, I think, now recently, this 10 months baby also is going to be given a beautiful send off by great officials there, it seems. I read it in the news. Now the march is on. So many more demands, like somebody in that family should be given at least an outsourcing job because most of these organ donors are coming from lower middle class or poorer class or just middle class families only. So just imagine if the breadwinner of the family is gone, where will the family go? So, ma'am, insisting and requesting both the governments umpteen times that you please give a job, at least outsourcing, some such thing, because there are so many government departments, depending on their educational qualification of that person in that family, give some job so that, they can make a living. So like that, many more, there has to be, proper guidelines, uniform guidelines for all the hospitals, and not only some government hospitals, every government hospital must be properly furnished with the proper infrastructure, not only in GGH or KGH or some other things, but in all government hospitals all over the country, all over our two states, must be given an opportunity and all the facilities so that they can perform. So how is it possible? Actually, the state and the central government are supporting this most humane cause. Central governments started a website called No Central Organ Group, and is an official website of Jivan Dan. These are the proof of their active participation. A visible proof that Sita ma'am and persistent efforts have yielded results. People who are registering as organ donors through this central government website and Jivan Dan's website. Let me give a small example. My own student who has done MA, MA English with us in St. Joseph's, when she came to visit me once, and then she and hers, they both became organ donors using the Noto website. And she told me, see, ma'am, how this line of positivity continues. I'm so happy I have done something really good. Thank you. So like this, just a small example. And another example, how Sita ma'am and her efforts have, influenced so many young people. You'll surprise if I tell you, there's a small town called Nidadavolu, after Vizag, I think towards Rajahmundry or Vijayawada, somewhere in the middle of it. It seemed there was an young couple who are going to be married. On their wedding day, they invited Sita ma'am and Kanyakumari ma'am, I think, both of them to come. You know what? There in the wedding venue, they put another small tent. and then they asked them to put their papers. They, the would-be couple, both the girl and the boy, and their relatives who have come to grace the occasion to bless the couple, they were all asked to sign the papers, will papers for organ donation. Ma'am was very, like, she was a bit nervous. How will people react to this kind of thing on a wedding day? Can you imagine signing papers for for organ donation? But then, they did it. In the midst of that festive occasion, even this is because something great job that we have been doing. We are trying to make our lives more meaningful by signing these papers, by becoming organ donors, by doing something for our own, like fellow brothers and sisters. That's the way you should look at it. Ma'am's main concept is Vasudhaika Kutumbam. The world is one family. Now, thanks to software, you know it today. The entire world is just one family. Anything happens in any country, immediately it triggers off, and the whole world is affected. So is the case. You do it in a positive way. If we become organ donors, certainly we are going to make our not only life but death also very meaningful and very purposeful. Students, so today, as I said, she has inspired thousands of youngsters. I hope you will also be a part of this great journey and you walk this trail blazed by her most enthusiastically. Today, the name Guduru SitaMahalakshmi has become synonymous with organ and body donation. She has many health issues. Despite that, recently, sometime back, 2 whole months, she stayed in Hyderabad, literally going up and down, visiting many officials, many people in the government and MLAs and so on, just to get the GO. What is the GO? I told you already that the dead body of an organ donor must be given state honors, just like a military official. For that GO, which was unanimously accepted in the in the assembly, I think, and then now the GO has been issued. So for everything, how much toil, how much work she has done. I can't tell you really. You should really read her stories and listen to her interviews. You will know what kind of struggle it has been. So what is it you can do in this scenario? You have to think. We, as elders, we all have become body and organ donors. Otherwise, we wouldn't be part of this institute at all. So we are all. But then what I personally also request you is you can all become organ donors and then you can spread this awareness amongst your families, friends, and so on, because this is a noblest cause. With no, we are not, not a single pie is needed for that. Your consent and your willingness, your wholehearted cooperation, you and your families, that's all is needed. And you are giving life to so many people who are just lining up with hope that their lives can be, saved if only an organ donor is available. All right. So this is my personal request also. And I hope you heard me patiently. You understood what a great, great journey ma'am has been all these years. And as students of SPECT, as beneficiaries of her, initiative, I think, it is a minimum act of gratitude. This is one thing I would like to tell all of you kindly, please, kindly. Gratitude should be an attitude to life. So be grateful for what you have received, be thankful, and join her great team. Just like many youngsters have already joined, you too, be a part of this great journey so that your life also can be meaningful. I will end my talk with a beautiful quotation by Einstein. You all know him, right? World-renowned scientist. You know what he said? 1,000 times a day, I remind myself that my inner and outer life are both dependent on the work, on the toil of many men and women, both dead and gone, both living and dead. and I deem it's my utmost duty to pay back, to give back in the same measure that I have received and I'm still receiving. So we are all takers. We have received so much from the community, so much from the society. Just think about it. Every day from morning till night, how much you are receiving. You are on the receiving end, you and I, all of us. We take so much from the community, from the society, and then from the work of so many people. And is it not our duty to pay back at least a little? It is not just money, boys and girls. Kindly remember that. It's not just that. Your skill, your energy, your time, your thinking, everything matters. So always remember that we owe to the society so much. And what way can I repay for all I've taken? So let us not be stagnant as takers. Let be givers. Give, give as much as you can in our own, way, in our own small way. Let us be contributors. As long as the space remains, as long as the sentient, that means human beings, are alive, let me love, let me make my own contribution to the community, to the society where I'm living, of which I am part. Thank you. Thank you.